Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the Weekly Video Recap.
The Hemp Wizard signature series artists are Walking Corpse Syndrome, So High, Black Sasquatch, Fester, You can give your beard the magic touch by going to hempwizard.net today and rock out with your... Just kidding.
And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to the Hard Rockin' Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rockin' Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And, folks, thank you for tuning in this Thursday, September the 19th in the year of our good Lord, 2024. And welcome to another show. And, it is definitely fall. We are a day or two away from the actual switch over from summer to fall, but it's fall weather. I leave in the morning, it's chilly. I come home at night, and it is hot, or warmer at least. We have air sometimes we have the windows open. It's the fall season around here. And, listen, hopefully we'll have a couple of months of this kind of weather. I wouldn't mind it. But in the meantime, we got plenty of hot action here in the Hard Rockin' Sports Show. We got a great show looking forward to tonight. We're in the middle of a great football season. It's 2 weeks in the record books, and we got two big games coming up. Big game tonight. Jets get their start of the new era. That's right, the start of the new Jets era. We'll get to a lot of that tonight, and of course, we'll talk a lot of Giants, Jets, NFL. We got Iron Maiden news. We got Manning cast stuff, and we got Yankee Mets playoff update. Just to get it started, I'm sure we'll come up with a bunch of things more. But I do want to start out with my usual rant. And I'm sorry, you guys are going to have to put up with it or tune in late. I don't know what to tell you. I don't see. Okay, Frankie. Just sending a message out to Buddy. All right, anyway, I hope you guys have had a great week, but let's get to my rant. So a little bit of big news. So the team just came out and did not endorse anybody. Why is that big news? The Teamsters always endorse somebody. And it's been basically a Democrat. 96, they didn't. In 1996, the Teamsters did not endorse anybody. They did not. They did not endorse Clinton because of the NAFTA trade agreement, which was one of the worst trade agreements we could ever have. And you'd have to go back to George Bush Sr. and Reagan for the last time the Teamsters went and endorsed a Republican. So why is it important? Well, just simple fact that they did not endorse Kamala Harris. But they did put out that their poll. Now, I don't know. There's been some speculation on how many people were included in this poll. Was it 1.3 million Teamsters as their rolls? Is it a small sampling size? But 60% of all Teamsters favored Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. No surprise. If you're a working class person out there and you're trying to feed your family, you don't want Kamala Harris. To flip-flopping. She will kill American business. And you're a Teamster. You need American business. You need people buying in America and moving stuff across this country. You need people building buildings, getting concrete, materials delivered. And the Teamster, the man on the street knows. Now, why didn't, they asked the question, why if 60% of Teamsters support Donald Trump, why didn't the Teamster local? Well, Trump's had some issues with labor as far as some of the comments that he's made about trade agreements and stuff. And I think it was the Teamster local or the international who basically wanted to send a message to the Democrats and let them know that they're not supporting anybody and that their rank and file are with Trump. Meanwhile, not too long ago, they did a poll and they were overwhelmingly supportive of Biden, but they do not support Harris. And it's because she is a Marxist. And I keep telling you guys, the Steam Fitter Union has come out for Donald Trump. The auto workers have come out. The International has come out for Kamala Harris. But a poll inside that has come out of the guy on the ground, the worker on the ground, is for Trump. So if you're not paying attention, I'll explain it to you. Most everyday Americans know that immigration is wide-ranging. It's not the border states. It's not just Texas and New Mexico and Arizona and California. It is all over the country. Okay, we're talking about things happening in Springfield, Ohio. We've had murders in Georgia. We've had murders in Maryland, all attributed to illegal immigration. Do you know that every month for a while now, they've been flying in 30,000 illegal immigrants from Venezuela into this country? You didn't know that. I guarantee you didn't know, but you look it up. It's true. They've been flying them into local airports and then they disperse them. Why? Can anybody figure out why? The only reason that anybody comes up with any sort of sense that is that the Democratic Party believes that these are future voters, that these people are going to come back now, and at some point they're going to say, "I get the chance to vote, and I'm going to vote for the Democrats because they brought me to this country." It's the only thing that makes any sense. It is eating away at our Social Security, right? Because they're paying these people, they're giving them money. Where do you think that money comes from, folks? Out of our tax dollars. Kamala Harris has come out and said she wants you to pay more money into your taxes so this money can be distributed to people. When she talks about giving people $25,000 to start a business or buy a house, where does that money come from? It comes from you, comes from me. All that does is cause more inflation. All that does, think about the housing market problem we had in 2007, 2008, because it gave out a bunch of mortgages to people who couldn't pay them. Couldn't pay it. People got mortgages they shouldn't have got. And now they want to do it again to a bunch of people who aren't even here legally. Folks, wake up, do your homework. See what I'm talking about here? You can figure all this out yourself. You don't need me. I just happen to listen. I happen to watch. I read. I want to know. And you should know it is consequential. It is consequential, this election. There is no doubt in my mind. Now, people are always telling me, the president is just a figurehead. Yeah, you think so? But then why is every president different? Why is everybody different? So Kamala Harris said, I'll give you for instance. Kamala Harris says, well, I'm not going to ban fracking. And she won't. She will not sign a ban that says that she's banning fracking. But what she will do is she'll expand the amount of U.S. federal land as out there, and you can't drill on federal land. She'll say you can't drill on it. They'll make it tougher to get a permit to drill or limit the amount of drilling you could do. So you don't have to ban fracking. She's not lying. She's not going to ban it. She's not going to write on a piece of paper and say fracking is bad, it's banned and don't do it anymore. She's just going to make it really difficult to frack. And unfortunately, everybody out there who's a sheeple and vote for people just because that's what they've done in the past, or I don't like that guy, he's mean. So let me ask you a question, folks. Would you rather the mean guy or the woman who's bullshitting you? And you can tell me you want Donald Trump's a bullshit. No, you know what? He's actually not. He says too much and he tells you the truth. He's full of shit in that, he's Donald Trump. He's a narcissistic New York City developer who's just a bullshit guy. But he's telling you the truth. He tells you what he means. And that's one thing you could say is that's one thing he does. He might tell you there's 60,000 people standing outside his building, and there's only 10 or 5,000. Who cares? Go back 4 years, look at what things cost. Go back today and see what they cost. Everywhere you turn, it's the same thing. They can tell you inflation's coming down. Sure it is. They juiced it to 9%. Of course it's going to come down. Any more than that, we'd be out of business. What's up there, Frankie? What's up there, Robert? So, guys, I get it. You don't want to hear it. I'm telling you every week. Tune in late. Do whatever you want. I don't care. This is my time. I'm about up that I'm going to do this every week. So sit tight. We're going to talk plenty of sports and music here tonight. But I got to just keep telling you every week till November 5th. Vote. I don't care who you vote for. I'm not going to try to talk you into voting for either candidate or against either candidate. I could care less who you vote for. Okay? I just want you to vote, but I want you to do the homework. I will repeat this 50 times a night if I have to. And again, remember, the Tuesday night before the election, the week before, I'm going to do a 1 hour show for the election. I'm looking for guests and panelists and people to talk both sides because it's important. Do the homework. Don't just go, hey, I'm going to go and listen to a Bon Jovi album. I'm going to go listen to another, Take 10 minutes and just learn what's about your country. And don't complain. You don't want illegal immigration? Nobody does. And right today, you could say, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. Wait till it does. And then it's too late. When it finally rolls into your neighborhood, ask my man Rob Finelli about his neighborhood, people going door to door begging for money. Ask Rob, a nice neighborhood in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. Ask Rob all about it. He'll tell you. Ask about the people walking the streets like zombies in New York City. It doesn't matter to you till it winds up on your front door. Then it does. Stop it before it gets there, folks. Do the homework. Do the homework. Check out the videos like Frank just put up. Check out the videos online for Kamala Harris and for Donald Trump. Guys, if you don't like him, you don't like him. That's fine. Just know what he's about. And remember, last thing, this is the first election that, especially in my lifetime, where you have two people who have been in power. Trump was there 4 years ago. Kamala Harris has been there for almost 4 years. There's a record to run on. She talks about hope and turning the page. Turning the page from who? Her? She's in. She's there. She's in the room. Last person in the room. She tells you all the time, I was there when all the big decisions were made. Great. Then you got to own it. So this is the first time you can actually go, I saw her record, I saw his record. Every time you get the incumbent against the new challenger, the challenger always has the ability to say, I don't have a record yet, but I'm going to have a great record. You can look at both of their records. So do me a favor, do your homework, come back here every Thursday night. I'm going to school you. I'm going to tell you what's going on. And there's a reason why they try to keep him quiet. There's a reason why they try to kill him. Do your homework, folks. All right, let's get the show started. We are the row, I think. Frank. Yeah, Frank, you're 100% right. Listen, this government wants to give money away to everybody but the people it should give it to. People like yourself. Listen, Frank, man, you can make fun of that all you want. It's all true. I'm not telling you they're killing cats, but they are walking. There are articles. There are people who are being interviewed. There is stuff going on. Everybody can laugh about it. Again, until they're on your doorstep and they're eating your dog or cat, do what you want to do. Everybody can laugh about it. I get it, but you think he's nuts? Go look up and see if he's actually lying, because he's not. Yeah. Does he to kind of blow it up a little bit? Sure. But the people who should be getting the money is people like Frank Jeffrey, people like our veterans who I see living in homeless shelters or living on the street. Give those people $400 a month in a card to live. Give those people $25,000 to buy a house. That's the people that we should be supporting, not these people who come in here and taking over housing projects and killing people and raping people. So again, do what you got to do. Do your homework. If you could pull that lever for her, great. Just do the homework to do it. Anyway, let's get this show started. Yeah, Fred, I'm all on. Anyway, let's get the show started. We only can do that by doing it one way. That's by bringing on my man, Mr. Jeff Towinski. What's up, my man?
No, I was waiting for you to run out of air.
Dude, I could go another hour. That man, I got.
Yeah, no, we gotta let me know if you're gonna do that. I gotta come on later on.
15 minutes every week. So I tell everybody same thing.
I'll be coming on at 7:15. I can't listen to that.
Oh, that's okay.
That's not for me, man. I don't care who fucking wins.
That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, if that's you. But then again, I say, when things go wrong out there, do you have the right to say anything?
I have the right to say whatever I want, whenever I want to say it, until somebody comes here and knocks my fucking teeth out.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. But more importantly, we got a week before week 4, and that's what I'm here about for tonight.
Oh boy,
nothing else. Okay.
Hold on one thing. Just to tell everybody right now, what place are you in the league right now? What place are you in?
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I don't care about the Jets.
No.
No.
Place is your team
I don't care. I don't care. Don't care.
So you're going to come on here and try to talk smack when you're sitting in last place.
Don't care.
Oh,
don't care. All I want is next week your fat ass on a plate. That's it.
Hold on.
That's it.
Just so everybody knows, I just want to make sure everybody understands. That's all.
They can understand however they want to take it. I don't care. I don't care. I demand you next week.
Listen, it's no problem. I'm actually looking forward to it already. I
want to see how you're going to back out of starting Daniel Jones.
Listen, I made it very clear. I will start Daniel Jones next week. So no doubt in my mind that next Sunday, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm playing, I'm starting Daniel Jones to win. So that way, when you get beat, it's even worse that you had to get beat by Daniel Jones. How's that?
And that's going to happen. Not going to happen. Christian McCaffrey is never playing again this season. He's on the IR. Unbelievable. I felt bad for him. His first pick on the IR, then Tua goes on the IR. Is Tua going to retire?
That's a great question, but we'll definitely get into tonight. Just want to make sure that we show everybody the standings.
That's okay. You can just remember to tell them that we're all tied for 10th, actually.
No. That doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Points. It's I see 10 next to my name. I see 12 next to your name.
That's okay.
All I'm saying is, right now, you're talking a lot of smack for a guy who's in last place.
Listen, you're lucky I'm not there.
Or
else the smack would be real. I come there with a glove. If I had enough time for you to be on here, I'd come to your house right now with a glove, and when you open the door, I'd slap you with it, and then go back home and come back on the air.
All right. Well, I'll take that as the verbal. I'll take that as the verbal smack for next week. But don't talk smack this week. We got to get through Sunday's game.
Frank, fuck off, huh? How's Christian McCaffrey doing?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So, but I want to get my data, but you did.
This is the stuff that we were trying to do with you guys last year.
Oh yeah, nobody even took the bait. We couldn't trash talk ourselves. We were on the same team.
We're on the same team. Yeah. Just the reason we're on 2 different teams.
Exactly. So we can spice it up a little bit. But yeah. Listen, a lot of shakeups this week as far as that goes. I think it changed the whole dynamic of obviously of the division. You wonder if the Dolphins lose this week, will there be a panic to go out and get another starting quarterback?
Have to.
I asked in our chat. I asked in the chat, and I think there's some guys that you can immediately talk about, like Russell Wilson. There are some guys that probably have a better pedigree than Skylar Thompson. So Jeff, it remains to be seen. Will they? Because who knows how long Tua is going to be out and what he's going to be like when he comes back.
Listen, here's the shame of it all. Okay, let's be serious for a while. A young man's career hangs in the balance. That Tua is too young to be even talking about the possibility of retirement, and that's a shame. He's a good talent to have in the NFL. He makes that division competitive, along with Josh Allen. Makes for a better team in that division, and it's a shame that this guy could have maybe one more concussion and his brain is like scrambled eggs, and that's the shame of it, man.
Yeah, and I want to get my dad on, but Matt, to answer your thing, I mean, those guys. I mean, Sanders. I'm sorry, holds the ball way too long. He's obviously very immature. I think there's a lot of stuff going on there, and I have to be honest with you. I think if anybody takes Sanders after the way he's acted and played this year, they're out of their mind. They're out of their mind. Yes, he's a fantastic athlete, as it was his dad, but he is a spoiled brat who has no discipline and is just, again, a really good athlete playing quarterback. And he's not a great quarterback. I've watched him play this year every single game. He is not a great quarterback. He holds the ball way too long, and he thinks that he's still playing Division III or he's still playing high school where he's the best athlete on the field and that he can do things with the ball that nobody else can stop, and he's dead wrong. So I would stay completely away from him at this point. But let's get my dad on, and then we'll get back to Tua and some of the options for the Dolphins, because I have to tell you, I'm surprised let me get to my dad, and then we'll come back to my thoughts.
Don't go nowhere, Joe Cloak.
What's up, Pop?
I don't know if I can compete with you two guys. It's like Lowell and Hardy.
Well,
I don't know who's Lowell, who's Hardy. Abbott Costello. I mean, you guys are good. You're really good.
Two Costellos, though. That's the problem.
Might be two Costellos.
Should be a very interesting game tonight. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it. I was shocked that he played as good. Rodgers played as good as he did last week. And
Yeah, I was surprised, but I will say this. I think what you see, I don't know if you guys watched all the game. I watched a good piece of it. I was flipping back and forth. You could see it's one of those things like, that the mind knows what to do, but his reaction time, especially moving with the ball in his hand, is very slow. He's not obviously he's 40 years old. He's had almost 2 years off, but you could see he knows what to do before it even happens. I just think his timing is really way behind, and you can see how much, Jeff, that not playing in the preseason has hurt his start to the season.
Listen, I can't even say anything about the preseason, Tom. This is more than the preseason. This is the 20 months that it's been since he's been on a football field to play.
Sure.
Whether he played the preseason or not, that would have shaken a little rust off. But like you just said, you're talking a 40-year-old man going out there and playing again after 20 months. What did you think was going to happen? He's not going to go out there and be an all-pro, that's for sure. But even in his condition now, he's probably still better than any quarterback option that team had last year at this time.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. It's just a matter of can he get better? I think that's a big part of that. But you're right. I thought he got better as the game went on, Pops. That's why I saw it.
And I had to shut the Giant game off. It was worse than looking at Pee Wee League. Their front line sucks. How do you run around with a team with one kicker? You got to be kidding me.
Well, wait, hold on. I'll take you to task on that. So no team in this league goes out there with two kickers spare on your team. So I
don't mean to cut you off, Tom, but you know what? There in the past, there has been a few instances where one kicker would handle kickoffs,
sure,
and the other one would handle things such as extra points and field goals.
Right, but you have to have the luxury of having one less player on your team. So most teams go out there every Sunday with one kicker and one punter. Now,
every time they face a quarterback, they make him out to be Johnny Unitas.
Well, I agree with you. I thought that was the problem last week. Was the defense was terrible. They got gashed again. They 7 drives, 7 field goals. Time of possession was nearly double. They lost that game first and foremost because their defense could not stop the Redskins. Not once did they force them off the field other than for field goals. So you can't do that. And say, I don't care if they didn't give up a touchdown all day. You did not get off the field at all. And that's the problem with the Giants. They had nothing to do with their offense, had nothing to do with their kicking game. Yes, they needed 3 points to tie it, granted, They should never been there. This Giant team was better, and they also lost because they had a fumble at a bad spot on a really good drive. And if Malik Neighbors doesn't drop the ball on fourth and 1 with 2 minutes left, the Giants win that game. But
Tom, you're failing to say one thing that's very important. Yes, they lost the game, but you know what? That defense, maybe they didn't get off the field, but they didn't give up touchdowns. They gave up field goals, yeah. And listen, points are points. I understand that. And it just proves to show you that you don't have to score a touchdown to win the game. But, that defense did not let that offense score. That was all field goals.
It could have been.
Yeah, but Jeff, if you have the ball for 39 minutes of a 60-minute game, the Giants had the ball, I think, 5 times. They scored 3 touchdowns. They had 1 fumble and one. I think. I'm sorry. They had 6 drives because one of them ended in a punt, one ended in a fumble, and the other one ended on 4th down. So if you only get a certain amount of time to run the play the game, the other team gets almost double your time. It's hard to win. Agreed.
I totally agree. But listen, still, nonetheless, your defense did not give up a touchdown. It gave up way too many field goals.
Yeah.
But they didn't give up a touchdown. You have to look at something. You know what I mean?
Again, you can definitely find a bright spot in that thing, but you got to get off the field. You can't let them go from their 20 to your 20. I mean, it wasn't like they were kicking 50-yard field goals. They were kicking chip shots because they marched down, they got into the red zone, and then they committed a couple of penalties, and they wound up having to kick. But at some point, you got to stop them so your offense has more opportunities, and that's the problem. So
you should be able to lose. You shouldn't lose a game like that.
I agree.
I've never heard anybody losing a game.
It's never happened before. No
7
team
field goals.
No team
That's
is
totally
ever
ridiculous. And the other team was giving it to you. They made stupid offsides.
Yes, agreed. The Giant defense was terrible. This had nothing to do with the offense. I mean, listen, they made 2 blunders, Singletary fumbles on a really nice drive open in the second half, and then Malik Neighbors has an easy 4th and 1 catch, and he drops it. 4th and 1, he goes out of bounds. The Giants have the ball, and they'll probably score a touchdown at the way they were moving, but you're never going to find out because he didn't catch it. Kid had a great day, caught 12 passes, I think, for 100-something yards. But at the end of the day,
who are they playing this week?
The Browns in Cleveland.
Tom, I got to do something real quick.
Good. So it's a tough one, but listen, this is what they got to go. This is a must win. So can they be better? I thought the offensive line was better. I thought Jones was better. I thought they did offensively. They were
so, huh? You really did.
Yeah, he played a good game. What was wrong with this game? What was wrong with the way they played offense? They ran for close to over 100 yards. He threw for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They scored 3 touchdowns in 6 drives. It wasn't a great game, but it was to me there was nothing.
I thought it was like a college game.
No,
Pace against St. Peter's or something.
No, again, the Giant offense was really good and much better than the Redskin defense. The problem is the Giant defense was horrendous. They didn't tackle. Too many 3rd and 10s and 12s and 14s, and you gave up the first down. Too many of those. Too many bad penalties. The Giants were a bad team defensively, and it's a bad job for the coaching staff. And to me, if you continue to play this way all year, they don't deserve to be back next year. That's just the way it is. You better play better than that you're playing right now. So you need to put it together. The offensive
your coaching is not because you're starting all over again. You want to bring in if you're bringing in a new coach, that means you're bringing in a new
I agree. I don't want to, and I don't believe they will. But you can't have performances like you had Sunday where you can't get off the field. I mean, the Redskins are not a good team. They were picked to be last in the NFC East. They're not a good team. They have a new coaching staff. They're still struggling for players. And to me, at the end of the day, the Giants play halfway decent defense. They probably win this game 24-14, 24-12.
Was this the best of the Giants?
I don't know.
The worst of the Giants?
That's what remains to be seen.
This is what they're capable of doing, or is this just a fluke? Because I think to be honest with you, I really think this is the way they're going to. I
don't think it was a fluke. I don't think. And again, I've said from the beginning, I think the Giants have the ability to win games because I don't think this league is great. And it's judged by it. There's teams losing all the Ravens are 0-2, the Rams are 0-2. These are teams that people were picking to win their divisions and go to Super Bowls.
When did the Rams become such a big favorite?
I don't know the answer to that.
The last year.
Yeah. And then they lost the Aaron Donald. I mean, I was surprised, but there was a lot of people picking the Rams. But there's a lot of 0-2 teams out there that, did anybody think the Saints were going to be the best team in football right now, scoring 90 points in 2 weeks? Nobody. So this is a weird year.
So it's week 2.
Yeah, exactly. 2. Yeah. So
Really?
it's
16 weeks left. It's week 2.
Really,
yeah,
really.
that's the point. So I don't know what the Giants are yet. I think you're going to see a lot of what I would say this. They need to make marketed improvement this week, and they need to find a way to win. They get Dallas at home the following week. It's going to be a tough week.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave you. I know I'm going off base with this, but I was talking about it with the barber, my barber today.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball.
Yep.
I think the best team in the American League in the National, the Mets. If I'm the Yankees, I'm deathly afraid to play the Mets. The Mets are winning games. Tom, there's no superstar on that team. It's not like if Judge doesn't hit or Soto doesn't hit or this guy doing trouble. It seems like everybody, they're winning games that you can't believe they won that game. How did they win it?
I agree.
And this is not.
But you know what the truth is? I agree with you. They're playing good baseball. There's no doubt. They're probably playing the best baseball of anybody in the last few months. But this team, that team, is very streaky. They started out with horrendous. They had a great streak. Then they had a real bad streak. They're on a good streak right now. While I agree with you that they're not relying on any one person, Lindor's been carrying them for a month and change, and now he's got a bad back, and nobody knows, when he's going to be back and how he's going to play. I think obviously you're going to see a big piece of this night. Now they play 4 games with the Phillies, 3 games with the Braves, and then 3 games with the Brewers to end the season. This is their season. I would tell you that if I was playing baseball right now, I wouldn't want to play the Mets. But if they go out now and they go 5-6 the rest of the way, then that's going to tell me something. So there's a big stretch. There's a big stretch for the Mets.
See what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Tommy, I'll see you over the weekend.
I will definitely see you
take care. Good luck tonight in the game. Good luck.
Pops. Yep. Thank you, Pops. That's my
See you
dad
later,
texting
Mr.
every week with us. Let's get back to Tua for a minute. I do want to talk Mets back homers. So Tua. So right now, here's the question for you. If you're the Dolphins, what do you do here? Do you panic? Do you make a move for another quarterback? And then what do you do if Tua actually comes back? And listen, Tua is his own worst enemy. I watched the game. I watched the play. Slide feet first. He's still playing football. He decides for whatever reason to go head first. And it wasn't like Hamlin, who hit him, had dropped his head. He hit Hamlin in the chest, which is kind of bizarre to begin with, right?
Guy that died on the football field almost killed Tua. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but Jeff, I mean, if you're the Dolphins, are you panicking? And Frank Jeffries put up a trading thing about and I broached what about Russell Wilson? First, I would never go for Bryce Young. I think that's not saving your season.
No, that I didn't realize Bryce Young is so small, man.
Yeah, exactly. If they could land Matthew Stafford, I think that's a good move. But then, to me, that's telling me that Matthew Stafford's your quarterback the rest of the year, and you're not bringing Tua back at all.
Well, like you said with that earlier, does that mean the Rams are giving up on everything? Everybody else has the Rams practically going to the Super Bowl or picking them as a favorite to win their division, and I can't see that the Rams would give up on that now.
I couldn't agree with you more. Right? I would say if after this week you were 0-3 and you don't look good, then I'd say you kind of start to contemplate. I think everybody at 0-2 is saying there's a lot of 1-1 teams, there's a lot of 0-2 teams. Everybody's still in this. All you need is right the ship, win 2 or 3 games, and you're right back in this. But if I'm the Dolphins, I think I'm making a move here. I don't know what you guys think. Matt just brought up Cooper Rush. I don't know. I don't see the Cowboys trading away a guy who fits real well in their system. But
listen, right now at this point in time, is anybody going to give up that good of a quarterback this early, regardless of who he is? It's early in the season. Anything could happen.
You'd have to overpay.
I got to check this thing again. I'm sorry, man.
No problem.
Carry on for a few.
Yeah, to me, guys, if you were gonna trade your quarterback, you're gonna sell at this point. You're selling high, right? Because you're not gonna give away a guy. If it's week, if it's right before the trade deadline, and you're 2-6 or 2-7, you're more apt to trade a guy, especially a guy with a lower value. But right now, if you're the Giants and somebody calls you for Drew Lock, yeah, I'll trade Drew Lock, but I want 2 number 2s. Why not? Why not? You don't need to trade him. You want to trade him, maybe. So I think if you're the Dolphins, you got to be working the phone lines. Yeah, call Kaepernick. What? No, Matt. I'm not disputing it. What I'm saying is, if you're the Cowboys, why would you make that trade? Are you sold on Trey Lance being your backup? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not giving up Cooper Rush. He fits my system. He's proven he can play. Kaepernick sucked then. You got anybody going around thinking it's too late? It was too late for him when he was playing. Remember, he was benched for Blaine Gabbert. He couldn't beat out Blaine Gabbert. The only reason he didn't get cut is because he kneeled and it caused a controversy, and the San Francisco was too afraid to cause a controversy. He couldn't beat Blaine Gabbert out to start. He was benched for Blaine Gabbert. Colin Kaepernick is one of the most overrated players to ever play this game. Again, another guy, great athlete, no quarterback skills. Nothing. He can run the football, got a cannon of an arm, got a 5-cent brain. Yeah, so no. Yeah, Matt, you know what? Dallas may be done, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I do disagree because I think there's again, I hop back onto we talked about it during the week, guys. CBA. Everybody right now is just played their second preseason game. Now, some teams did a better job. The Saints. There are some teams that did a better job. On the Lions, what we've seen so far, I hope not. I'm expecting better on the Lions. Frisco comes out week 1, look great. Week 2, what happened? Does anybody really believe the Saints are that good a team? Does anybody believe the Saints are that good a team? Oh, I don't. So again, it's no time to panic. Panic week 4. You get to September, then I think your record is what you are. But do I believe that Sam Darnold somehow figured out how to play football? No, I just think they're a little further ahead for whatever reason. I'm not buying into it. So again, I think tonight's a big test for the AFC East. It'll tell me, are the Patriots, are they the team that beat the Bengals, the team that lost to the Seahawks? What are the Jets? The Jets need to win tonight, and convincingly. I'm not saying they got to blow them out because I don't think they'll blow them out. I think the Patriots have a good defense, no offense. But I think the Jets tonight have to go out there and win. I still think this is an under game. I'd be shocked if this went over to 38.5. I don't know what you guys think, but I think at the end of the day, the Jets need to win this game like 24-10, 24-17. They kind of need to win by they kind of tell me the new ocean for the Saints was perfect for them. OC Saints will be tough, and I believe they may win the division, Matt, but think about it. The biggest challenge in that division is what? Falcons. They look like crap. I mean, I don't know how they beat the Eagles. That again, we get to the Eagles. What was Sirianni doing throwing the ball there? What is he doing? These guys, see, this is the problem with head coaching. This is the problem with head coaching now. It's all analytics. Yes, if Barkley catches the ball, yes, of course the game is over. Great. Play the percentages. Run the clock down 40 seconds more to get the ball with a minute. Kick the field goal. Guess what? You're probably going to win the game. What I always say this. When you throw the football, more bad things can happen than good. So, you kick the field goal. But that's the problem with today's coaches. They don't know how to coach a football game. They've been playing Madden too long. That's the problem with today's football. That's why, I think a guy like Jim Harbaugh will do really well. Jim Harbaugh plays old school football. He coaches old school football. The rest of these guys today, they don't. They don't play clock time of possession. They don't go out there and look to do things in the first quarter and the third quarter to change the game. Okay? Fourth, you guys, run the ball, take the time off the clock, kick the field goal, and force them to go 80 yards, 75 yards with no points, with no timeouts. But again, you throw the ball, he drops it, clock stops, minute 46. You just lost the game. He should have been fired for that. That's the problem with today's NFL and 99% of the coaches. 99% of the coaches. That's the problem. They don't coach. They don't coach. They think they're playing Madden. I would do that in Madden. If I was playing a game of Madden right now and I had a chance to put the game away with a pass, I would do it. This ain't Madden. And he deserves every, if they go on to lose a few games and he loses his job, he can look back to that moment. But going back to the thing, Saints could win that division. But it's really not that good a division. So I wouldn't put much stock in that one.
No, you got to think that one team is pretty much out of it already. And two other teams kind of have question marks in that division.
Sure. I think there's I think there's question marks everywhere. I think there's very few divisions.
Yeah, but more so in that division. Is there really anybody as of last year, was there anybody that was clear cut hands down better than anybody else in the NFC South?
No, that was probably, the Bucs were probably the best team in that division. So, and they may be this year. Again, we'll see what the Saints bring. But do I think that at the end of the year I'm going to be looking at the Saints hoisting the Lombardi Trophy? I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't see it. But we were talking about the Jets, Jeff, and to me tonight's game is big. First off, you're into the new era. The old the old guard is gone. No Belichick, no Brady. Everything starts anew. And I'm saying was the Jets, their defense has not looked Super Bowl-ish. They have not looked like the 85 Bears. They've been gashed on the run. Offensively, they played okay. They weren't terrible. They weren't great. They got better as the game went on. But the Jets need a little bit of a signature win tonight. The Jets need to win by 10 points or better. They don't have to blow them out. But the Jets can't be fourth quarter, need a big stop to get the ball back with a chance to win the game. The Jets need to be in control of this game to kind of, signal that they're ready to take over this division. And if they don't do that tonight, I got to tell you, I'd be a little concerned.
Of course, there's always concern. But like I told you guys all along, you've anointed something that shouldn't have been. And I until it happens, I just don't believe it with them. That's all there is to it. And listen, I think that too many people oversold them. And that until they actually start to win and play, I wouldn't be too fast to anoint them champions in that division. Possible Super Bowl team. Right now, the only way they look like they're going to play the Super Bowl is if they're playing Madden.
That is very true. Again, I don't think they need to blow them out, but they need to show. They need to show that they are the team that people say they are. And the other thing that came out is, I got to be honest with you, I think the kid is a fantastic athlete and a hell of a cover guy, but your boy Sauce Gardner is a pussy. That's the best way to say it. He don't tackle. He don't even want to tackle. I mean, I'm not sure. He could probably wear the same uniform all year and not have to wash it.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions so far developing about it.
I have to tell you, watching him, I mean, I thought Deion was bad. He is worse than Deion ever was. I mean, Deion had some moments where he stuck his face in there.
Deion Sanders at least interceptable?
Well, I'll give the kid credit. They don't throw at him. He's a hell of a cover guy. But to me, I would throw the ball in front of him all day. I would run at him all day long and force him to make plays because he just can't. I don't know if he can. He just refuses to do it. And it's not helping him. And to bring up Matt's point, they lost Jermaine Johnson. Now, I thought McDonald had a nice day, but realistically, who's rushing the passer over there?
Well, that's just it. He had a nice day. Is that going to translate into Is there untapped potential there that nobody saw?
I don't know.
Then again, there's a reason why they drafted him first. They had to see something in him.
Yeah, he has no peace.
But the guy is also he's very light too. Was he like 220 something pounds or 230 pounds?
He might be lighter than that. I would tell you that but he just got no heart for it. Listen, I play ball with guys. I watch football. I watch some of the best hitters in the NFL. Who are small guys, Bill Bates, guys who just threw their body at it. So it's not about body weight. It's not about size. It's about your head and your heart. You have to want to tackle. Tackling's about.
Oh, I'm talking about McDonald on the Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, McDonald is. I think he's 235. If I heard them
he's
right.
kind of light to be an end, no?
Yeah, he's a guy definitely building on. He's definitely building on speed. And we'll see. I mean, if it translates to another week, the problem is you got Quentin Williams, who's a hell of a ball player, and then you got him. I mean, there's no John Franklin Myers. There's no Bryce Huff.
I don't understand it. And no word of them going after Reddick, whatever his name is.
Hassan Reddick. Even if you did at this point, you got to think he would need 3 or 4 weeks just to get himself into football shape. See you later, right, Matty boy?
See you later, man. Yeah, but Tom, listen, you got to go after somebody. You have to do something. You can't let this guy just hang in the breeze and not do anything. You need help at this point.
Oh, I agree.
To do something.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know at this point, because here's the thing. Not only did he get fined a lot of money for not showing up for camp, he's already missed 2 paychecks. So even if they bring him back, are they gonna dock that from him? That these are big questions for him right now. So I don't know where it goes, but just the simple fact that he hasn't been in camp, at this point, Jeff, I would think it's going to be really, really hard to get him ready to go and make any sort of thing. Guys like that show up and next year they're tearing hamstrings, obliques. Forget about preseason. He hasn't been played in practice.
No, listen, Tom, I hear you, but somebody's better than nobody, and right now that's what they got. Nobody.
No,
so I mean, you need if one guy gets hurt, that's it. The biggest part of your defensive your defense, the line, last year at this time could be worth nothing. Yeah.
So again, so the Jets have a lot of questions to be answered tonight. Will they get answered? I don't know. What is this New England team? They came out week 1. They beat the Bengals. I think the Bengals are a little short of what I thought they were going to be, but it's early. And then they stumbled out this week and they lost to, I think, the Seahawks. So, again, I'm not sure. They're not a good offensive team, but I think they are a good defensive team. So, we'll see. But, I think the big questions for me is going to be Tua's going to be out for a while, and will the Dolphins make a move to stay in it? If they lose this week and they look inept on offense, I think they almost have to find somebody. It could be a Trevor Siemian at this point. I think they have to go get somebody to play quarterback to give them an option. And at this point, Jeff, if you're the Dolphins, I mean, I think you try to make the big deal like a Matthew Stafford, because I don't think you can bring back Tua and count on him this year.
I don't know. They're really not saying much about him.
Yeah.
And they're saying that he's going to talk to experts. At first they said, and Frank Catalano, listen, don't worry about any losses. The only one who's going to take a loss this week is going to be you, my friend. Big time. I say that you're going to score about 15 points if you're lucky.
Oh, wow. There's a trash talk we love.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the important stuff right now until we get back to Frank. It's if they bring him back and he gets injured again, say he sits out 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it may be, whatever he has to sit out, and then he gets injured again, that could be it for him. His career, his life could drastically change.
Yeah, I mean, what point can the NFL step up and say enough's enough? I mean, could that be? I don't know if they're allowed to, but I guess medically, if he's not cleared to play again, it is what it is. But
well, listen, if let's say that they clear him medically to play, okay, well, because that there's going to be doctors somewhere that will say, well, he can play, he can wear the Guardian helmet on top of his regular helmet and whatever. If the NFL wants to blackball him, so to speak, and say, like, no, you have to go to our doctor, and maybe they do it that way. Maybe nobody signs him. If the Dolphins end up he has to retire and his contract is canceled or whatever, you don't know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, that is always a possibility if you can't pass the physical. But again, this is a big year for the Dolphins. I think a lot of us, I know I did. I had them with a chance to win the division and do some damage in the league. And I think that right now, obviously, that took a big blow. So we'll see if they try to recover. We got a lot, a long way to go, like you said, Jeff. It's still 16 weeks of football to be played, starting tonight with the Jet game. The Dolphins, the Bills at 2-0. The rest of the division is all 1-1. It's still wide open everywhere you look.
Yeah, it is. It is. But listen, as some of these teams go, they need to get a fast run out of the gate. Yes. And if they don't have it, then maybe they're not the kind of team that's going to be able to make it up. Say like Frank Catalano's team. If they don't come out of the gate fast, he slumps behind and then he's crying at home, hoping
they're 0-2. They given up,
I'm talking about his fantasy.
Oh, his fantasy team. Well, that's all different. So he's another guy, right?
We didn't even get to the Broncos yet.
Oh, we get there. Don't worry, we'll get there. But listen.
Yes.
But again, we'll end it again with we've done a lot of Jets. We'll go turn around the league. I want to talk some Yankee Met baseball.
Before we do that, there's something that I'm excited about.
Go ahead.
And we got to talk about this. I'm not going to let another minute go by until this happens.
Go for it.
I seen you comment on it on somebody else's Facebook post.
Oh, God.
You got to bring it up. And that is the just announced huge Iron Maiden tour.
Wow. So I'm surprised to hear you talk about this like that. But go ahead, please.
I am intrigued.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yes, sir, Bobby. I am.
Just told my wife, I said, I'm going to go to this concert whenever the announcement goes. Now, they've only announced the European tour so far.
Yes, I know. I saw that. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I want to know what songs are they going to play and never, ever play again. This is going to be a tour where songs are going to be played that they'll probably never play again. Does that mean that Iron Maiden they see the end from where they stand now? Is that what this means?
And possible.
What songs from the catalog are they going to possibly play that you'll never hear again?
Well, they said it's limited to the first 9 albums, so that's a good sign. So at least
an awesome sign.
Yes, so that's a good sign. So there's a question. So now, are they going to retire "Hallowed Be Thy Name" or "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner"? That's a great question. But I told my wife before the show, I'm going to go to this concert. And I said, she goes, well, who's going to go to this? I don't know. I said, it's Jeff's done. I might have to, I'll see if Paul goes. If not, my wife's going to go with me. So, but if you're intrigued, I'm pumped. Hopefully you'll be
definitely sniffing around the hydrant.
I mean, it's the 50th anniversary. You're right. It does smell like there's a possibility that this is going to be an end. Because I did read some stuff about Nico having harder and harder time playing the Maiden stuff. So the question I would have is, if Nico 2 years from now can't play it, do they come back with another drummer? They're very loyal guys. They've been, this band, regardless of whether you like this current edition, has been together since 1999.
No, listen, you can't say anything bad about this band. They don't seem like there's a lot of pluses with Iron Maiden. They don't seem like they were ever a big drug band.
Yep.
Nobody ever had that we know of had trouble with alcohol or drugs. I mean, I'm sure they did their share of partying and drinking, but it doesn't look like they would consume like some people do.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a band that was backstabbing one another. They seem to genuinely like one another, the way they interact. And
you
see pictures of them, you don't see that only 2 of them are in this picture, and you never see these 2 guys standing together. But I wish that they would do what they did 30 years ago and get rid of Janet Gears.
I Couldn't agree with you more. I've seen 6 tours since 1999, maybe 7 tours, and he's been in every one of them. And why? Obviously, the guy's a great player. He's annoying. I have to say, as a Maiden fan, I find his stage act to be very annoying.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's please.
The
It was
hopping
fun without him.
Yeah. I personally would love a tour with basically the old band. I mean, think about it. Nico's been around since what, 84, 80, right?
Yeah.
40 years he's been the drummer.
84 Peace of Mind, right?
Yeah, Peace of Mind tour. So to me, here's the question. Who is the Iron Maiden? If you're thinking of Iron Maiden, obviously Burr was around for the first 3 iconic albums, but Nico's been there for 40 years. Who is the Iron Maiden drummer?
You know, Tom, to me, I split Iron Maiden into several different segments. The Di'Anno years,
right?
Okay, then the Dickinson years, but the Dickinson years there was 1 and 1A and so forth and so on. Then the synthesizer years, then the lean years, and now where we are now. So like when they first came out with Bruce, and they were just a metal band. It was great, and then everything was good up until Somewhere in Time came out, and them stupid ass fucking synthesizer bullshit.
I agree.
I still think that Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is a great album.
It certainly is.
Okay, No Prayer for the Dying was a little iffy.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of the Dark had some decent songs. Matter of fact, I'm not even really that familiar with that album, other than to say that it didn't really do much for me, other than the song "Fear of the Dark." And I'd actually have to look on the album to see what songs were there. I know there was 1 or 2 that weren't bad, but they weren't. It wasn't like after Seventh Son. I'm good. Right. I don't even have much in the way of Maiden after Seventh Son.
I've told you I'm with you on most of it. I would just tell you, I told you this the last time we brought up Maiden, was that you should look up the '99 album. Oh my God, now I'm drawing a blank.
I know the one you're talking about, but I'm trying to. I'll tell you what songs I put on my Maiden list from that album, which was The Wicker Man. Yes,
that is a great album. But Fear of the Dark, let's see. The track listing for Fear of the Dark is Be Quick or Be Dead, From Here to Eternity, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, Fear is the Key, Childhood End, Wasting Love, The Fugitive, Chains of Misery, The Apparition, Judas Be My Guide, Weekend Warrior, and Fear of the Dark. Be Quick or Be Dead's a good album, good song, and Fear of the Dark is obviously a great song.
Weekend Warrior was gay.
I'm not a big fan of most of that album. To me, it kind of after that this is where it starts to get to the point where you used to go from 3/4 of the album was great to where you're getting a couple of good songs off the album and everything else is just
Off of my Maiden set list, right? I have an album, Book of Souls, 1 song off of Book of Souls,
Speed of Light.
Speed of Light. Be Quick or Be Dead, or Fear of the Dark from Fear of the Dark. I got Satellite 15 and El Dorado from that album.
El Dorado's a good song.
Okay. Almost the whole first album, which is great.
Yeah,
almost all the Killers. I got several songs from the live album, Live After Death. I got Mother Russia on there.
Good song.
Several off of Number of the Beast, which, they probably could go more. A couple off of Peace of Mind. Couple off Aces, not Aces High. What was that? Power Slave.
Mm-hmm.
A couple off of Moon, Seventh Son, and and only 3 off of was Somewhere in Time. I'm not a big fan of that one.
Yeah, again, Somewhere in Time. There's 2 songs. Beats Wasted Years and The Clairvoyant.
I got Wasted Years. Heaven Can Wait. I don't know why I got Heaven Can Wait. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to say it right now on the air. Fuck that song.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. The Clairvoyant is a great tune. Oh my God.
That's off of Seventh Son.
Oh, is that off Seventh Son? I thought that was okay. So that's a great song.
Can I Play with Madness is a great song.
Oh, it's a great tune. It's a great. Again, up to that point right now, you're getting some good songs, not great albums, but good songs. But again, I was very excited when they announced this tour. I was disappointed that they didn't have the. Yeah, I would agree with that. Will, I think Power Slave is their last great complete album.
You know, I don't you don't like Seven Son, man?
I think it's good. I think it's really good. I don't know if it's good top to bottom. Like, I don't think you could, like, Power Slave, you could probably go, if there's 9 songs, 10 songs, 8 you listen to. If you get to, when you get to Seventh Son of a Seventh, there's good stuff, but it's not a complete album anymore.
Look, you got Moonchild, Infinite Dreams. Moonchild is a great song. That is an awesome opening song.
Okay. See you later, Frankie.
Infinite Dreams is slow. It's a little good. Can I Play with Madness is a good one.
Yep, absolutely.
The Evil That Men Do is good. Seventh Son is good. The Prophecy, Clairvoyant, and Only the Good Die Young. I don't think that, I wouldn't say that's a bad album.
No, you're right. No, you know what? When you put it in context, you're right. I can't agree with Will. I think that's the last great Maiden album is Power Slave, but there's nothing wrong with that album at all. It might not be Slave.
Power Slave, the song itself, Power Slave,
yeah,
is, I don't mind it. It's a good song.
Yeah.
I'm just not a huge fan of it.
No, I agree. I'm not a big fan of it.
Mariner, I like that, but that's just too long.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I like the first half of the song, and then when they take it to the slowdown, I can shut it off and move on.
Yeah. Peace of Mind is just a great album.
Oh, it's a great album.
Bottom.
Absolutely.
But you know something? Check this out.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Seventh Son, 44 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Power Slave, 51 minutes. Then we got Peace of Mind, 46 minutes. Number of the Beast, this is 40 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. Killers, 39 minutes for Killers.
I bet you the first I made. Well, I think it's going to be a little longer than I would think because of a couple of songs, Phantom of the Opera, Charlotte the Heart.
Take your guess.
34 minutes and change.
Close. 38 minutes.
Okay.
Now these albums, I will say this much. I'm not going to go through all of them, of course.
Yeah.
But I will say this much. At that album length, they left you wanting more.
Well, not only wanting more, but you wanted to listen to the whole album. Like, you wanted to run through the album and you wanted to hear it again. When you get to some of those other albums and you get to 50-something minutes and you're getting songs like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner that's 13 and 14 minutes long, after a while you go, how many times can you listen to a 14-minute song?
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of the problem I have. But yeah, when I got the message, Matt sent me a message, and then I saw it. I got an email about it. I was pretty stoked about this tour. I said, you know what? It's 50th anniversary. Now it's got, obviously it's 50 years when Steve started the band in 75, which is a little, I think he's the only guy still from that original thing. And then Murray comes in pretty quick, and then they bring in the rest of the guys. But to me, at the end of the day, I don't know how many more Iron Maiden tours are going to be. I had no interest in the last tour. We went through the set list of the last tour, and I was like, there wasn't 3 songs I wanted to hear.
Frank Catalano is on crack again.
Yeah, I would tell you, I guarantee you one song that if they're going to retire, it's going to be the song Iron Maiden, because they've stopped playing it at concerts.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, the last couple of tours, it's not been on the list, and that used to be the staple of closing every Iron Maiden. I got a feeling that that's going to be one of those songs that they say, this is the last time they're ever going to play it.
I have a cat.
I see. I think that's one of those songs. I mean, I love the song. It's a simple song, but I'm sure, but for these guys, when you're playing the stuff that they're playing now, Jeff, on these new albums, and then you play that song, it's got to, I guess, bore them. You and I, we long for those songs because that's the songs we like. That's the stuff we want to hear. But I bet you the band itself has no interest in playing that.
The cat just jumps up here. She's being Sharon, come get your cat. Your one-eyed cat. Go down there.
Oh, well, I read it's all the first 9 albums.
No, it's the last tour they did.
The last tour was all new stuff, yes. But this new tour they're talking about for next year, it's all old stuff, all first 9 albums, which I'm stoked for. I told my wife immediately, that's what the 50th anniversary. I'll tell you this, I'm going to go to it wherever is here. And if they open up in Florida, they usually open up in Fort Lauderdale first show, I will go to the one in Fort Lauderdale. for sure.
What do you, Will, you chime in, John too, Frank, of course. What song would you want to see them, knowing they're never going to play this song again live? What song do you want to see Iron Maiden play?
Ooh, that's a great question.
How are you
Boy, oh
doing,
boy.
Paul?
What's up, Paul D'Agostino?
I got to say, I want to see them do, I'd love to see them do Innocent Exile. I would love to see them do Invaders.
Yes.
Drifter.
Oh, good tones. Yeah, but that means that you'll never hear it again. So that's the rub.
You don't hear it anyway.
Yeah,
you don't hear them anyway.
I got to tell you, I haven't heard it in a while. I have to say something off the Killers album. It's been a while. I think the last tour we went to, I think they played one or both of those songs. Boy, I would, yeah.
No, I mean, Will was the prisoner. You know, we were doing that with the Hard Rock and Sports Band, and I vowed never to even, I think, listen to that song again, much less play it. That is definitely not a favorite. If they played that one, I'd be all right with that. I'll never hear it again.
Yeah, it's a great song. I would say this. I always say, when the day comes and they're announcing the last tour.
Keep going, Tom. I got to put the air on.
Okay, so guys, let me ask you guys this question. They're playing the last Iron Maiden show ever. What's the first song and what's the last song of the night? To me, the last song for Iron Maiden's got to be Iron Maiden because it's Iron Maiden.
Oh, no, come on, man. They can't.
I'm just saying. But I would tell you, it's got to be. It almost has to be like one of the Fear of the Dark, something where can I play with Madness because it so gets the crowd so into it. But for me personally, I got to say it's got to be something off of Killers. I'm not sure which song it is. Thanks, Frank Catalano. Oh, The Prisoner. Yeah, I like The Prisoner. I have to be honest. I'm a fan of that whole album. So
that not for nothing, that would be a good song to open up with because they can open up while everything is dark with that recording.
Yes.
And then come in with the drum beat and come in and play it.
Do you think they have to almost end with Number of the Beast because that's pretty much the album that put them on the map?
How do you stop playing that song, man?
No. When you walked away, I asked the question.
I mean, they're probably going to play Prodigal Son.
No. I asked the question when you walked away. I said to guys, if they announced that this was the last tour and this was going to be the last show ever, what would be the song they open with and close with? The last song you ever hear from Iron Maiden in concert.
And they're never going to play this again?
Never play anything again. This is the last song they're ever playing.
Before I answer that question, I will say this much. I also read that I think they want to play some covers and a few other things too. So don't be surprised if you see Cross-Eyed Mary.
Oh, Dr.
Or Dr. Stuff like that.
Oh, but I would love to see them do Cross-Eyed Mary. I think we did. I think they played that at a concert I went to. That is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's such a great. That to me is one of the greatest covers of all time. It just is.
I could think of so many songs. First of all, if I had my way, Iron Maiden would end every show with Iron Maiden.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah. I
mean, when it's that good a song and it's got your name in it. That's the way. For every concert I ever went to for Iron Maiden, that was the last. They came back out and encore. That was the last encore for the night.
Sabbath's last song was "Paranoid." Yeah, that's how you ended a 50-year career on "Paranoid." That was sad,
Well, again, that's not a bad idea. When Ides of March and go right into Wrathchild, and you do it old school. I think this one's got me juiced. I'm sad that it's not happening until next year, and you won't see it till the fall of next year because they're in Europe until August.
Yeah, I saw
They'll
that.
probably take a month off and then come back. I would think like a September, October run through the States. And like I said, they usually open up in the States. I think in like Fort Lauderdale or someplace in Florida. I will definitely fly down and go to that concert, and then I will hit one up here. Because I am stoked for a 50-year Iron Maiden. But I still say they got to go out on the road one time with Judas Priest. They got to do it. It's got to happen.
I would love to see that. I got to tell you my Iron Maiden story, man. That was actually very cool. I was playing with this band called Manslaughter years ago. Mm-hmm. A bunch of guys out of Port Richmond. And we played this place called Nery's that was on Port Richmond Avenue.
Sure, I know it well.
Yeah. So when we played that, the bartender was asking us what songs, and we played the song Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Then, and when we played the song, he closed the bar and stopped serving drinks so that he could stand. He said to us, he goes, when you play that song, I'm standing right here. Right here. I'm standing right here. And he did. He shut the bar, went right to the front, listened to the song, looked at us and turned around, walked away, and started serving drinks again. So he actually shut the bar down for about 3.5 minutes while we played that song. And he loved
That's
it.
fun.
Yeah,
That's
it was pretty
all
cool.
about. Yeah, I'm going to be sad when there's no more Maiden because this was Kiss is the first band I ever grew up loving, but Maiden was my first kind of the first band like I ever like dug fully in as an adult, paid my money to go see in concert, bought every album, the jackets painted, I did that's been my band. I'm still a huge Kiss fan, but Kiss lost me for a while in their sea of bullshit. I've always loved Maiden. I've owned every album. I have every EP and bootleg. I'm staring at an entire collection of Iron Maiden shit.
You used to go to the city and to the our music center and every music store we could to get Iron Maiden EPs. And and one thing that you haven't said so far, and but it has to be brought up, Iron Maiden was like the band that got us all together, so to speak.
Sure, absolutely.
Me, you, Joey, Richie, Paul. I mean, I know we all knew one another in some capacity before then, but it was like once Maiden started coming out, we all kind of like gravitated towards that album and even more so with each other. So we became friends while that album was coming out. And I would say that was big. I'm not going to say the soundtrack of our youth and something gay like that, but and Will, I'm sure you remember that album well when it came out, but man, everybody liked Maiden at that time that we hung out with. Jimmy Galicchio.
Yeah.
I don't know about Father Bob if he was into that.
Yeah, but I would say it was the one band that we all agreed on. Some people like Kiss, some didn't. I wasn't the biggest Judas Priest fan in the world. There was everybody we hung out with all said the same thing. Maiden's a great band. Everybody, there was nobody in our crowd who could say, and there was no negativity. People went to their concerts. It was the one band, and it's for me again. It was a little tough when Kiss retired, but I kind of felt like it was time. Like with Maiden, I hope they go another 10 years, but the likelihood of that is not. And I think the big thing is going to be, can they or will they replace Nico if he retires? That's going to be the big thing for me.
You had that on it. You got pictures of that, Frank Calano?
Oh, wow.
I would love to see that, but sadly, the cameras that we had back then, it probably looks like a blurry mess. I hope that's not the truth. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yep. There we go. I remember that. That looks like it's in good shape, too.
Oh, dude, I tell you, my Maiden collection is sharp. I have just about every album. I say, the only one I didn't buy was Senjutsu. It's the only one I don't own.
Do you have them as the originals or were those replacements?
No, I have all the originals.
Really?
Yes. All the Maiden albums I own are all original albums. Yes.
Now, what songs are on that album? If you could tell us real quick.
Sure. Sanctuary, Prowler.
Sanctuary with Paul Di'Anno. That's Dennis Stratton, man. Wow. Look at Dave Murray. He looks like he's got busted smoking a joint in the bathroom at school. Grammar school at that. Yeah, Steve Harris got a fat baby face.
Yep, yeah. So it's Sanctuary, Prowler, Drifter, and I've Got the Fire, which I don't.
Oh my God, I Got the Fire! Wow,
I probably haven't listened to that since I bought this. At this point,
that's a great song, man.
Oh yeah, this was recorded at London's Marquee Club, April 3rd, 1980. This album is original from that. I bought this I probably bought this with you somewhere in the city, I would imagine. I've got all my original Iron Maiden albums and my original Kiss albums. Yeah, and my original Kiss albums.
That is cool.
Yeah. So again, this to me is big. So next year, 50th. This is what I'm stoked about, that you're actually considering going, because as far as I've known, other than a Black Sabbath concert, if it ever happened, you've said you retired from going to concerts. So I'm kind of stoked.
Yeah, but you know what, Tom? The thing that gets me is that, how could you, if they're going out the last time to play certain songs, and I would do my best to stay away from whatever the set list is. I would want to look it up ahead of time. I don't want to know and everything else.
I agree with you. I wouldn't want to know either. You're right.
I would just have to get hit with it. And I gotta. Last Friday that passed, we went to go see the Led Zeppelin band Get the Lead Out.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, the St. George Theater.
Huh?
And they were unbelievable. It was a good show, great show. And I can't say that it's renewed my interest in going to concerts.
Oh, really?
This was the St. George Theater.
Correct. It's a little easier to go to. Yeah.
It felt good to be at one.
Nice, good for you.
It really did. So
yeah, I agree.
By the way, I would tell you, if you ever get a chance to see this band, consider it, man.
Yeah, I'm not a Zeppelin fan. I don't like Zeppelin songs.
Tom, neither was I until about a year and a half ago.
No, I got you, but you've kind of like, if Zeppelin comes on the radio, I can't get it off fast enough. That's my problem. I'm sure they're a great band and there's a lot of good stuff played, but I just don't like Zeppelin. That's not even like, and frankly, I saw Chicago a few years back with Earth, Wind, and Fire. One of the best concerts I've ever been to.
I think they've been touring again as of late.
It's probable, yeah. But yeah, I saw Chicago. It was got to be better than 10 years ago at Jones Beach with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and it was a great night. What a great show! Beautiful weather, great venue. I've seen a bunch of those. I've seen a bunch of those kind of guys. And it's worth it. I think it's great. I saw Rod Stewart concert. He put a great show on. But the main one.
Yeah. Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire, right?
Oh, yeah. That's I again, I haven't seen them in 10 years, so I don't know what they sound like at 80, but at 70, they were pretty good. So,
Frank Catalano, if you're the big Chicago fan, what was their original name? See if he knows that.
But yeah, I was just telling my wife about this show. And I said, I'm going to bring it up tonight. And she goes, "What, you're going to get tickets?" I said, "I'm going to go, of course." She goes, who are you going to ask? I said, well, Jeff's retired. So I got to talk to Paul. He's probably my only chance to get anybody to go with me. And she said, well, if nobody goes, she'd go with me and all that. But, if you're in, man, that would be great. I only pray they'd play at the Garden. I would love to see it again at the Garden. Chicago Transit Authorities.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. Chicago Transit Authority.
Yeah, very cool, Frankie. Good job.
Yeah, even though it took them as long as it took you to get that answer, you had to look it up, then close that, the browser.
Are you accusing Frankie of Googling that answer, Jeff?
Frankie Googles.
But yeah, I would say Maiden. I can't. I was thinking about the other day, like if I got the announcement that Queensryche or Judas Priest or anybody was playing their last show, would it spur me to go? And I said no. But this, if I don't think this is necessarily the last Maiden concert, the last Maiden tour. But to me, this is, you're winding down. And if they're going to do a 50th anniversary and with the specter of no Nico sooner than later, I'd say I got to make every effort to go to. I
would say if they're doing a 50th anniversary of them first getting together, which is big in its own right. Don't get me wrong, big in its own right.
Yep.
This has to be nearing the end. It has to be.
Oh, I agree. Frankie Catalano, whoever's out there still, let me ask you guys a question. If Maiden, Nico can't continue to Maddie's Park and sing Saturday in the Park, very nice. That's cool. That's a great memory, Frank. If Nico can't continue, should Maiden continue on without him? That's the question. To me, the answer is no. I think at this point, maybe to finish a tour, Jeff, or maybe to say, hey, we're going to do one more without him. But I think if Nico can't go, I think Maiden's got to end. I think if at this point, short of Yannick Gears, if he goes, it's no problem. You keep going. But if anybody else bails out, I almost think you got to call it a day.
Tom, I don't know, man, because who could you put back there?
Well,
who do you put back there that could even fit in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. So to me, Maiden is Maiden, and the beauty of Maiden, especially now, John Hefka brought up Blaze Bayley, and I think Blaze Bayley's underrated from a sense of he's got a great voice. The problem is the music wasn't great, and it was a period of time where it was more grunge and the metal wasn't there. And obviously, once Bruce got back and Adrian came back, it became Maiden again. But to me, you can't lose one of these guys now and continue. I just don't see it. So to me, listen, what do you think of Alex Van Halen as a drummer? Listen, I think Alex Van Halen's great as a drummer. It'd be interesting to see.
He's the wrong kind of fit, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, he is in the same vein as Nico. Nico has that same but I couldn't see him doing it. I don't know if you can plug anybody in and it'd be comfortable again. It'd be interesting if you brought in an Alex Van Halen or somebody of that ilk.
Alex Van Halen, Nico almost plays with a gallop. It's like he follows the bass.
Yeah,
the way that he plays a lot of his playing, and I can't see Alex Van Halen playing that same kind of drums. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't think that he would. I don't think that's him. You know what I mean? And that's it.
It's even a cool Eddie again. We got a cool Eddie again.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of bad Eddies. This is actually almost an old school Eddie. You got the eye like Somewhere in Time. You get the old school hair, and this is actually old school.
You got that. You got the Killer's axe.
Yeah. It's like
I'm looking at it. You know what? That I saved the picture so that I would look at it and bring it up to you. But I got to look now. You're right. There's the Somewhere in Time. There's the Peace of Mind.
Yep, right here.
The head. That's the Killers. No, the first album, The Hair.
Yep. You have to look.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look in the corner, right there, it says Iron Maiden established 1975.
Yep. This is would this be from like Fear of the Dark? This back corner here.
It's possible. Do they still do that little symbol that he always had?
It's a good question. I don't know.
It used to be on the back of the album.
Was that Derek Riggs though? Was that his little thing, or was that an Iron Maiden thing?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Building in the background is very, very reminiscent of Killers.
Yep. Yeah. This is old school, and this is it. I mean, this is old Eddie. Like this is old Eddie. Like you missed that. Like I missed the old Eddie when 4 hours for the Mets, 7-3 bang. I have the Killers Eddie on my Rangers tattoo. That's one thing I never did was the Iron Maiden tattoo. I did a lot of the jackets, and like I said, I've got every Iron Maiden videotape and album, and I'm staring at a bunch of shit here. But the tattoo I never did. Also, you guys got to watch the new show on Paramount Plus about the 80s. I'll check it out, Matt. I'll check that out. So again, this is something we'll pay attention to for a while. I mean, it's obviously we'll be celebrating another football season by the time this all happens. So, but I think, Jeff, this is encouraging to look up and see a new Iron Maiden tour that's kind of old schoolish. You're back to the old Eddie, the look at least. And yes, they're kind of combining different eras of it, but I think that's a good look.
Yeah. Listen, it's encouraging, man. I would.
It's the world tour
to it actually happening, and better yet, here's hoping that the band is still intact and doesn't have any other setbacks between now and then. Because let's face it, these guys are pushing 70. Nico is over 70, and these guys are pushing 70 now.
Yeah. It's just the world tour. Think about this: the world tour of 2025 to 2026. So you're almost a year away from it starting, and it's from the album Iron Maiden to Fear of the Dark. Yeah. So that's in our wheelhouse.
Yeah,
that is in our wheelhouse. So
we're gonna have to see what goes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out because to me, this is something that's. Definitely, the tour starts May 27th in Budapest, ends August 2nd in Poland. Like I said, in between, there's a bunch of dates all over Europe. It does not give you any sort of songs or any of that stuff, so that's good. I agree with you. I would hope I don't ever find out what the set list. I want to go there and hear it that night.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but. Can't be a bad set list with those. No, you're right, Frank. You know what? I would agree with you. If they stay in that realm, you might get a song or two you're not crazy about, but for the most part, you're going to get classic Iron Maiden in that set list.
Oh, you're definitely getting classic Iron Maiden in that set list, man, without a fucking doubt.
So that's what makes it. That's what. So again, the last tour, I didn't even think about going because I hated the set list. I know Will Cloak said the same thing. We talked about the set list on the air here. I mean, sometimes I get it for a band. You want to play what you want to play, Jeff. You say I'm going to play what I want to play, and if you want to hear it, great. But you kind of have to play to your audience, and very few people that I know who are Iron Maiden fans want to hear Alexander the Great. It's a good song, don't get me wrong, but very few people. Hey, David Burns, how are you, buddy? Want to hear, songs like that. Nobody wants to hear, you know what I'm saying? So, as a Maiden fan, when you're headlining the set list with Alexander the Great, okay, terrific. I'll see you on the next tour. It just doesn't do it for me.
Oh, listen, I actually thought they were still on that tour, so it's good to hear that they're not.
Yeah.
And listen, here's hoping that they come out and that they do good. There's certain songs that I don't want to see them play.
No, I agree.
Because I want to make sure that I see them again, and
well,
a whole bunch of songs would be kind of sad in a way.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. I mean, you're spending so much money to go to a concert between the ticket, all the fees they put on it. Then let's say you drive, okay? Let's say it's in Madison Square Garden or one of those places, or let's say it's in Jersey, so it's a little easier to park, but you're still paying. You're still paying gas. You got tolls both ways. You got parking. Even if you've been by the Prudential Center, it costs you $40 to park your car. You go there, you have a couple of beers, a soda. It's a $500 night before you turn around.
Yeah.
And if you're going to spend that kind of money, you want this kind of experience. That's my opinion.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So, where maybe years ago, listen, the first Maiden concert I went to cost me $20 for my ticket and probably another $20 for the night. And that's with buying a program, getting something, a couple slices of pizza at the ferry, and probably a soda along the way. Probably cost me all told $40.
It probably wouldn't be a good idea to get the dairy on the way there.
Well, Jeff, back in the day, I lived dangerously.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm talking about modern day.
No. Listen, now we're sucking that Metamucil on the way to the show. Now it's we're rubbing some ointment on us. We're making sure we're nice and loose and limber before we go out to the concert. But it's a big deal. So to me, it's got to be worth the experience. Like I want to go, but it got to go. I'm not going to hear 3 songs that excite me. If I'm paying $20 or someone's giving me free tickets, I'll listen to whoever you want to. But if I'm spending $500 of my hard-earned money on one ticket and a night out, it better be exactly the song list I want to hear.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And that's the problem with Maiden for me, is I think they've gotten to the point where they think that anything they do, their fans are going to love. And it's not true anymore. It's just not.
Well, you know what? Listen, this is us talking about the Somewhere in Time set list. But, let me see. Let me go to that album real quick. Let's critique that album for a minute.
Sure.
We're going to have some fun with that one, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I got to find Okay, wow, that was pretty quick. Here we go. So, Somewhere in Time is right there. All right, so that opens up with Caught Somewhere in Time. I can't remember the last time I heard that song.
Oh, my God.
Then Wasted Years, which I always thought was kind of weak.
Love that song.
Sea of Madness and Heaven Can Wait.
Again, decent song, not driving me off the couch.
Yeah. Heaven Can Wait, that's when Anthrax used to jump on stage.
Yes.
Okay, so then we got The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, which I was like, I don't really care how lonely he is. Stranger in a Strange Land, which was a pretty decent song.
Sure.
Deja Vu and Alexander the Great. 8 songs, 52 minutes.
and maybe you got 3 decent songs out of the list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, thank you. Senjutsu. How do you say that name?
Senjutsu.
Okay. 11 songs, 1 hour and 28 minutes for that album, man.
I would tell you it's the one Iron Maiden album that I've never listened to. I've heard a song or two. It's the first and only Iron Maiden song. I've got Dance of Death. I got them all. I've listened to them all. Now I might not have gone back 5 times, but I've listened to it. Senjutsu, I did not buy. I will not get it, and I will not own it. To me, that is a FU to their fans. I'm sorry. That
album, Souls, 1 hour, 32 minutes.
And even that album, I bought it. I listened to it. I'll never listen to it again. It's got one good song on it.
So like I said before, here's Peace of Mind, 46 minutes, right? Let's just do the rest that I have here.
Okay.
A Brave New World.
That's a great album.
That's
a
1
great
hour,
album.
7 minutes. Fear of the Dark, 59 minutes, 12 songs. The Writing on the Wall, that was just a single. I don't know why I just have that. But it seems as though the shorter the albums, The Final Frontier, that is 1 hour, 17 minutes. No Prayer for the Dying, 44 minutes. Dance of Death, 1 hour, 8 minutes. The X Factor, that's one, right? 1 hour, 11 minutes. You catching a trend here by any chance?
Yeah, I catch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the longer the album, the less we seem to be interested in it.
But again, that's the point of it is, listen, especially nowadays, back when we were growing up, there wasn't much to do, right? Like, let's say you went out, you had a curfew or home at 10 o'clock at night. There's nothing on TV. You got 4 or 5 channels. There's nothing on at night but the news on 3 channels. So what did you do? You listened to albums. If you were us, you maybe got your guitar, your bass out. You played along with an album. But you had all the time in the world. Didn't matter. You listened. I listened to every Iron Maiden album front to back 100 times. Nowadays, Jeff, I'm not picking up an album and playing it for an hour and a half. No. It's just not happening. So, and these songs take too long. They're just, to me, it's FU to the fans. What I would love to see Maiden do is come back and do one album, and I'll buy it. That's old school, 3.5, 4-minute songs in the vein of the old Iron Maiden, and in the vein
of doing that now.
I don't know the answer to that. Think about it. When was the last time? I mean, Power Slave was on the borderline. After that, it gets into the 1 hours, and now the last couple albums, Senjutsu. I mean, who can listen to that?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, so to me, I can't. To me, this is FU. This is what we want to hear. No, the problem is, I know that's what Iron Maiden wants to write, but that's not what us fans want to hear. I will guarantee you guys all here, all Iron Maiden fans, I'll guarantee you if you listen to Senjutsu or Book of Souls or Final Frontier, you did it one time. You listened to the entire album one time, and since then you might have gone back for a song. You might pull a song off like Jeff did on your Spotify, but I guarantee you that if you kick on an old school Iron Maiden album, you'll go 4 or 5 songs in a row because it's 20 minutes long and you get through half an album or better. So
yeah. I listen, Frank. I got to agree with you. I never even put the album on.
Yeah,
I tried listening to it. I didn't make it through a song. I was just like, it's just got to go. This isn't what I want to hear.
Yeah, I applaud them for continuing to write music. Do what you got to do. But if you think that your Maiden fans are going back and diving into that album and playing it repeatedly, they're not. They'll buy it. If you're an old school Maiden fan, you probably buy every album. You got it in your collection. I did not. Again, it's the first album that I did not buy. I've got every other album. I think I even have them on CD and on vinyl.
Let me ask you this: if you were to buy Iron Maiden albums right now, right? Or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If you were to make an Iron Maiden playlist right now, could you find 2 songs off of each Iron Maiden album to put on your playlist?
Oof, great question. Off of the last few albums, the answer would be no. Book of Souls, I would put Speed of Light.
Yeah, that's a good song. That doesn't sound like Maiden, the music.
Yeah.
But once Bruce starts singing, it's classic Maiden. He's got that voice.
Final Frontier's got, I think, one, maybe Mother Russia.
The song Final Frontier and Eldorado's
Eldorado's a good song. Yeah, so I can get 2 albums. I get 2 songs off of that album. Dance of Death, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would say the last 3 albums would be tough, but I could pull it off on 2 of them. But Book of Souls and Final Frontier, I could not give you 2 songs. There's no 2 songs on those albums.
Yes, I remember that. Matter of fact, Reach Out, if I remember correct, that came out during the Somewhere in Time era.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. Will Cloak. Matter of fact, I just had that album up.
What album's that on?
I was a B-side. That was a B-side.
Let's see.
And I got that album. I actually wanted to talk about that album real quick, but where is it now? Where the fuck are you? The rest of the B-sides, real quick. Burning Ambition, that's old.
That's a good tune.
Drifter, Invasion, Remember Tomorrow, live in Italy, I believe. I Got the Fire, Cross-Eyed Mary, Rainbow's Gold. What is that? Oh, I saw that album before.
Yeah, and then this is one of my favorites to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a classic. Here's a classic Maiden.
Well, but are they listenable?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah. Now these are some stuff I bought recently. Killer World Tour. This is stuff I bought very recent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is I don't. And then this one again. This is one that I wish I had the original, but I didn't. This is the Soundhouse tapes. So you know
what I still can't get.
What's that?
Which is Made in Japan.
Oh, I got it. Oh my God, first album.
I have it on record.
Oh, I have it on vinyl. I don't think you can get it anywhere else at this point in time. But that was the very first Maiden album I was ever given. Paul Gill bought me that in 1981.
Oh,
Christmas.
I actually haven't heard that song.
Which one?
Of that album.
Oh,
in years.
No,
man.
I actually did. I actually listened to it not too long ago. I go through my spurts with Maiden, and that was one I played. Was that album? But yeah, that's the one that did it for me. I got that for Christmas. Had never heard Maiden. Wasn't even into metal at that point.
That had Running Free, Remember Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me see if I got it close.
I think it was.
Hold on, let's see.
Was it Killers? Maybe.
Hold on, let me see if I got it close over here.
Might have been Killers on that. I don't remember. I don't remember what other songs were on there.
Let's see. I got some stuff in a couple spots. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can pull that one out for you real quick. Live Plus One. This is one of my favorites. Women in Uniform.
Yep.
Invasion and Phantom of the Opera. That's one of my favorites. Let's see. Dance of Death. Maiden, Killers, Number of the Beast. There it is. Iron Maiden, Made in Japan. Running Free, Remember Tomorrow, Wrathchild, Killers, and Innocent Exile.
Innocent Exile, Remember Tomorrow, Running Free, Wrathchild, you said?
Yep, and Killers.
And Killers, okay.
That's the album.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, man.
This is the very, 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 very first one I ever got. Paul Gill. Thank you, Paul Gill. Started me off. I don't even know why he bought it for me. I wasn't even a metal fan at that point. Like at that point, you know, I was probably still listening to the Cars. Trying to think what else I was listening to at the time. How about this one?
Which one is? I can't see. Oh, look at that. Nice.
Break the Wind.
Spinal Tap. I just saw something about Spinal Tap.
Yeah, the movie's finished.
I saw something else about them, and
oh yeah,
I can't remember what it was or what it is. Damn it.
I actually have a couple of Crew records on the other side of the room. I got the first 2 albums I think in my collection, and I think I have Theater of Pain because my brother's sister left it behind. So I think I have 3 Motley Crue albums to this point. I listen. I'm Frankie Cat. I'm a crew. I was a Crew fan. I still like the first couple albums, but I would never give my money to see them live again. That'll never happen.
I'm proud to say I don't have a single Motley Crue album in my house.
But I was with you the very first time you bought a Motley Crue album and played a Motley Crue album was in my house. You brought it to my house to play it.
I don't remember where I got it, but
Our Music Center. We went to Our Music Center.
I mean, as far as like where I went to listen to it, but
At my house. I never forget. I was
I
living
definitely
on
woke up.
Highland
To that.
Tompkins.
I was woke to the point where they suck.
Yes. Well, once we saw them in concert, everyone was home bad.
Well, you know what got me? I only went to go see them in concert. I seen them twice in concert, both times for the opening band. But Metallica was what got me away from Motley Crue. Thank fucking God, because
Thank God for that.
look at me. Could you imagine me running around in spandex? You know, as fat as I am, forget about it. People would be puking.
Yeah. Listen, you know what? It was weird because Crew, you wanted to like them because they looked cool, and the first album wasn't bad. And Shout at the Devil, I loved. I loved a few songs off that album, but then once you got to what's the name of that song? Dr. Feelgood and all that, it was like, please God help me.
Dr. Feelgood is a pretty decent song, and they had another song, not Girls, 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 that was actually pretty cool. Oh man, I gotta look it up.
There was some spotty stuff along the way that I liked. There's a song they did later on called Saints of Los Angeles. That's a really good tune. It's off. I think the album's named that. That was actually
Wildside. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Wildside's a good song. That is a very good song. Let's see. I'm getting
Dr. Feelgood was very heavy.
Yeah, it was. Again, I don't know. Maybe it was the video that threw me off. I'm not sure, but
and there's a song too. It's on the album they had with John Corabi singing. What was the name of that fucking song? Oh, Smoke the Sky.
Yeah, I don't know that. I never listened to that album.
But that was a good song. Smoke the Sky was actually a pretty good song.
Well, cool.
That was really. It was of course all about smoking weed, but it was pretty heavy and they tuned down a lot, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like I think about that, getting that Iron Maiden album from Paul. Like I was listening to the Cars and the Knack, and then all of a sudden Paul shows up, gives me a Christmas gift, and it's his Iron Maiden album. I remember looking at it like, what is this? And then for whatever reason, I went home and played it, and I fell in love. It was it. And I don't know why. I don't know how.
We've all made mistakes in life, Tom. You've all made mistakes.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if if on the agenda for next year will be a trip to a local concert. Maybe our good friend Frank Catalano will join us. I don't know. Maybe after this week, you guys won't be friends anymore. So we'll see.
Well, I'm not worried because I know that my team, both my teams, the Jets and my fantasy team, are gonna forget about it, man.
Hey, what movie was Oingo Boingo in?
No movie I ever saw, man.
You saw it. I guarantee you saw it. There was a movie Oingo Boingo was in.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, what is it?
Back to School.
Back to School with Rodney
Dangerfield.
Man, what the fuck is it?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow.
Yep. Oingo Boingo was in that movie. So
Boingo. My God.
Yep. I actually saw Rodney Dangerfield live once. That was a pretty cool experience. He stepped on stage I went to his club. I don't remember for what occasion. And I was falling asleep at the we had like front row seats. It was like a Thursday night or something.
That is not the place you want to fall asleep in.
And whoever the communion was on I was like the end of a late day. I was still young, but I remember being in there, and all of a sudden they said the comedian says, "I'll be right back." And 2 seconds later, Rodney Dangerfield comes out in a wife beater, pajama pants, and slippers, and does like 15 to 20 minutes. And some of it was hysterical, and some of it wasn't. But I got to see Rodney Dangerfield live, so that was.
We went there before we got married. Me and my wife, and a couple friends of ours went as a night out before we got married. And I remember going in there and the place smelling of mold and mildew.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it was on its last leg, if that. It
Yeah,
might have even fell over already. They just forgot to close it.
Yeah, no, it's actually still open, but they changed the name. Yeah, it's no longer Dangerfield. It's called Rodney's now.
Oh, okay.
I think they lost the name, the rights to the name after he passed away. And if you go by, it's in the same spot. They changed the marquee, and it just says Rodney's on it.
That was you. What is that? That you were able to see that? The fuck was it? I think you were able to see it. That like that tram or something from there.
Oh yeah, you did the Roosevelt Island tram that runs across.
Yeah.
Not far from there. Yeah, I think you probably can. Yeah, I would say it's close enough to that. That's like 61st Street. The tram's a few blocks. I think a few blocks just south of it. So yeah, but you can definitely see it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, sorry. I'm tired.
What's on the agenda this weekend, Mr. Jeff?
We got a party to go to on Saturday and band practice Sunday, and then next week is
Got the big 28 to two bands
of Mad.
So who goes on first? Is the Remorons opening or Remorons the headliner?
No, Remorons the headline, and it's going to be Goldilocks. I don't know.
Oh wow!
I don't know how.
I was just going to say, how did that happen?
I don't know how. I have nothing to do with that. I don't know.
I'm going to have to hold that against you, as a matter of fact.
Mixtape Diaries, then Mad, and then the Remorons.
4 bands. What time is it? What time does this evening start?
It starts at like 2:00.
Oh, it is. Okay, all right, that's good. So at least that it's not like it starts at 8 and you're the 4th band. You're going on at 2 a.m. to a couple.
No. Those days seem to be way behind us, man.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would think if you're a bar owner at this day and age, and you have bands who are in our age bracket, they're going on at 8 o'clock at the latest, because I don't think there's many of us cruising the bars for the second band at midnight.
It sadly doesn't look that way,
dude. If I tell you, Deled, I can't tell you how many weekends my wife and I are in the house. We're watching football on a Saturday. We're hanging out, and then like 7:30, 8 o'clock, we're like, let's go watch this in bed. And like it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, and we're watching whatever we're watching in the bed.
Listen, it happens. Me and the dog. If it wasn't for the show right now, I'd be over there on the bed with her. She's in her spot, and then I would end up falling asleep on top of her, and she loves that. But and then Sharon comes up. Hopefully, she stays downstairs for a while, and we get a little more room on the bed. But and then tomorrow, I got to take the dog. She's got to go for a blood test.
Uh-oh.
She
okay?
Yeah. She has a growth on her leg that has to come off.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's going to happen next week, next Friday.
Okay.
Which I'm not very happy about, but we got to get it done. So.
Oh, listen, yeah. Take care of them. That's the
Well,
way it works.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't need this.
Yeah, my guy's 13. He's gonna be 13 this year. So
how's he doing?
He's knock wood. He's good. He still acts like a puppy, and it's funny. He does his some routine, and he's good. It's fun. I mean, it's just life's pretty good right now. Can't complain. Can't complain a bit. Yeah, no complaints. Everybody's having a good time right now. So we'll see. But lots of good stuff. Lots of good sports this weekend. I get to watch Nebraska. I'm going to Texas in October.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my company got an invite from Hilti. We do a lot of business with Hilti, probably $1.5 million, and they're paying for us all expenses to go down. We're going to go to a couple of the guys are going to go behind the scenes at the Texas Stadium. We're going to Texas, Oklahoma Saturday afternoon, college game at the Cotton Bowl. We're going to a hockey game, Dallas Stars, and somebody Saturday night, and then we're going to the Cowboy Lion game on Sunday.
Wow, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I to be honest, it's not my thing, but my 2 bosses and a couple other guys that kind of my level senior guys, we all got invited, and it's all expenses paid, so I couldn't say no, and so I'm going to spend a couple of days in Texas hanging out and doing a lot of sports stuff. So, and then,
Nice.
yeah, listen, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm not, it's funny. I've done this stuff so much in my life, like back in the day, traveling to 2 or 3 places, see games over the course of weekends. I can't tell how many times I did a Saturday afternoon hockey game in Boston and a Sunday afternoon football game in New Jersey. I've done all of that more times than I care to remember. So I kind of got to the point now in my life where I want to work and I want to be home. And
yeah, sure. I don't blame you.
Yeah, with all the traveling and driving and stuff, I don't want to do it on the weekends. But my boss is kind of insisted, so we said, "All right, let's do it." So we got 6 of us, and we'll go have a couple of days in Texas. I've never been to Texas.
That's cool.
So, so I'll have some fun with that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to some good football this weekend. Giants got a big game in Cleveland. Jets are on right now. I don't know the score. Mets are playing great baseball, and they have a big weekend of Phillies, then the Braves and the Brewers. And if you're a Met fan, you got to be excited. They're playing great baseball right now. They're finding ways to win, which is good, Jeff. If you're a team and you're reliant on, like the Yankees, on Judge and Soto, or if you're a team that's relying on your pitching and that falters a little bit, you're in trouble. The Mets are winning. Some nights the pitching's great. Sometimes they hit. Sometimes the pitching's not great, but they hit. They find ways to win, and that's the way you want to play baseball. And we'll see. The next 11 days for the Mets, they still have to make the playoffs, but if they do and get in, it should make it interesting.
Yeah, well, time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so you got band practice Sunday. So you got three bands working. One's consistently practices on Sunday, right?
Well, every other Sunday.
Okay.
The Mad Band is the one that's been practicing the most, but 25 Missions is every other Sunday, and the Remorons is we have a show now in September or next week, and then nothing until December, the end of December.
Now, is Colin still flying the coop? Is that still?
He's still around right now.
Yeah, I know that, but he was talking
about
how
long he's going to be here for. He says next year.
Yeah.
So time will tell. But right now, he's content where he is. Oh,
good for him. All right. So hopefully he'll be around for the our yearly bash. Hopefully all the guys will show up for that. We'll see. We'll start talking about that in about a month. In the meantime, it's good for you. So, it's funny. I was thinking about it before. You got 3 bands, and they're all completely different, right? You got the Remorons, the Ramones tribute.
Yep.
The new band is basically kind of a metal-ish heavy band. And
I think it's a band that's still looking for its identity, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but you did tell me your set list, and it seems to be quite a bit of, that metal we grew up with. And then, of course, you got the 25 Missions, and that's a lot of classic rock, southern rock type of stuff. So, you got your fill of playing. You can't say you're pigeonholed. You're kind of playing a little bit of everything.
No, but the Mad is picking some songs now that, like, every once in a while a text message will come through and it'll be like, really, that one. But we haven't been learning much, so I don't know. You know what I mean?
I got you. Listen, everybody's got to find their way, and maybe it'll play a show, have it go well, and it'll kind of fire everybody up to kind of take the next step, type of thing. You know what I mean?
We will see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But guys, that'll bring us to the end of tonight's show. Jeff's tired; he's got to get some rest. I have a day ahead of me tomorrow, so let's. We've talked a lot of sports. We talked a hell of a lot of music, more than I expected. I thought we'd touch on the Iron Maiden thing. I tell you the truth, I had the Iron Maiden thing on the set list, on the show list for tonight, and I said we'll touch base with it. You'll go whatever, and then we'll move on. And to get your reaction, in fact, that you brought it up, and then run with it for close to an hour, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, we listen. That had to be spoken about, man. That's big. Last time of doing some of these songs, I'm just curious to see what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's funny. I would love to get the set list and start talking about it, but I don't want to notice that list till if we do go to the show. So if we actually get to go to the show, I'd rather not know what the set list. I'd rather be surprised. But listen, we'll take it one step at a time, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm not going to try to look at that set list either. Probably as soon as I get off the show with you, I'll look it up.
All All right, guys. Well, you know what? On that note, we'll end it right here. And I thank everybody for tuning in and hanging with us. A lot of guys popped up tonight to say hello, and the people hit me off the air. Thank you very much. But in the meantime, I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in to listen to me and Jeff babble on for 2 hours and have some fun doing the show. So, again, it's been great. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And keep coming back when we do this all over again. So I want you guys to have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. Come on back when Jeff and I get to do this again next Thursday night on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody here at the Hard Rock and Sports Show, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
Tom, I'll talk to you and Frank Catalano.
Oh.
What more could be said there, bro?
He's coming
Sorry.
for you, Frank. He's
Tell you
coming.
right now, sorry. The beating you're about to get, I can't even look. I got to put on the dark shades because I can't even look at it.
Frank, one favor. Smack that ass so that way he comes into me just bleeding his butt off for next week.
Dude, that's fine. That's fine. First of all, it's never going to happen. I've seen his squad before. It's not going to happen. Second of all, yours is even worse. And you want to start Daniel Jones? Oh, my God.
I'm starting Daniel Jones against you. So when you get beat, you're going to have to live with the fact that Daniel Jones-led team whipped your ass.
That's never going to happen.
Bringing it next week, bitch. You got it.
It's never going to happen. I'm going to stretch that asshole out like a pink sock.
All right. Well, let's see what you look like after this week. If you're even still in the league, we might have to bounce you out for being that bad.
Here's the thing. But you are in last place. Yeah, but you have the same record as me. You have the same. I hope you play well. I hope you do.
I will be paying special attention to your game this week with Frank, and I'm hoping the trash talk will continue.
Well.
I hope it does. So let's have some fun.
I sit at work. Somebody, when you get a random text from me throughout the day?
Yes.
That's because I'm sitting at work. I explored every avenue and possibility of doing anything at that point in time. And I'm like, oh, I got to fuck with Tommy. And I send that. Yeah, percentage points my ass. Not after this week, Mr. Owen fucking 3.
Let's see. I'm hoping the trash talk continues along the way. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys back here next week. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air. Frank, you have a good night.
Be good, man.
All right, man.
Frank, later.